Hello everyone. Well, today's story is a very special story in the Bible. It's the story of a wedding in Cana, and it's the time when Jesus performed his first miracle in front of his disciples. Not long after Jesus had called his disciples to follow him, they'd all been invited to this very big wedding in Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother Mary was also invited. There were so many people there, and the hosts did their very best to provide food and wine for all of the guests as best as they possibly could. The servants were giving out the food and generously sharing the wine, and everything seemed to be going very well. Behind the scenes, however, there was a bit more of a panic. People organising the wedding and managing and overseeing the food and drink could see that the wine was about to run out. They didn't quite know what to do, and unlike today where you might have been able to go down to the shops to buy some more, that wasn't an option, and it would have brought great shame on the family if for whatever reason they couldn't give their guests what they had promised. Jesus' mother overheard these murmurings, and in the background she thought, she's got to help because it's a very dear friend who was the family. Mary whispered to Jesus, "They're running out of wine." Jesus realized that his mother was wanting him to use his beliefs and faith to save the day. But he also knew he must obey God and not his mother. "Why are you involving me in this problem?" he said. "I can only ask act on what God tells me." Mary listened to her son, but she still said to the household servants, "Do whatever my son tells you to do." She was sure that God would allow Jesus to help their friends. Jesus looked around. Nearby there were 6 enormous stone water jars. They each contained 20 or 30 gallons of water, and they'd been there since the beginning of the feast. Now they were empty, as the guests had used water for washing their hands before eating. Jesus beckoned one of the servants. "Fill those jars with water once again." So the servant did as he was instructed. "Now pour some out and take it to the guests," said Jesus. The servant looked puzzled. So he did exactly what he was asked, though, took the jugs of water and started to pour it out in front of the guests. The first person to taste what had been poured exclaimed to the bridegroom, "My goodness, what fine wine!" Most people serve the best wine and the cheap first and then the cheapest last, but you have saved the best. The guests had no idea that where this wine had come from, but the servants and the disciples knew, and they marvelled at what had happened. This was the first miracle that Jesus had performed, and because of it, disciples realized that their leader was indeed a very special person and put their faith into him. What a story! Fancy that! Well, now we've got to go and do some crafting, haven't we? So I need you to get 2 paper plates if you can. Yes, my favourite thing in the world. And a paper fastener, you know, those little split pins, your scissors and some colouring pens. And you can use some tissue paper and stuff as well as a craft, but I've coloured mine in. I'll see you in a minute. Bye. Right, here we go. So on the first paper plate, you need to draw a jug. Okay, can you see what I've done? I've drawn the jug with the handle, but I've cut out a bit down the bottom like a little window. Look, can you see? I've put the words Jesus the Miracle Maker on the jug to remind us of today's very special miracle. Now the other paper plate, you need to colour. And as you can see, mine looks a bit odd, but the reason for that is so when you lay the other one on, the water will turn into wine. So you need to sort of lay your own jug over the top to make sure you get it in a good position. And you need to put blue in some areas and a wine colour in the other. And when you've done that, this is where we're going to be just remembering Jesus' special miracle. Now, this is where you might need a grown-up, okay? So using the paper plate with all the colouring on behind, and then this paper plate, I found that you need to put the special pin in the middle, or else it just doesn't work. So there you go. Put that in through there. Okay. And what you do is you need to move your window across where the water is. Do you remember what Jesus did? He told the servants to go and fill the water jugs with water and take it out to the wedding guests. And then, by a pure miracle from God and from Jesus, as the guests started to pour, the water did indeed turn to wine. There you go. Have fun. Take care. Bye-bye.